What do you think, bud? What the hell's life treating you?
It's good. It's good. I'm looking forward. We've already had the first day of fall, so I haven't seen much fall weather yet.
No, it's a little warm this week, but it still ain't in the 90s.
It's gonna frost soon.
Yeah, but usually by the middle of the month.
Yeah, he should know. He's kind of a frosty guy.
I'm Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty Snowman. We just put a pipe in his mouth and set him up, prop him up, and
That's
leave him
right.
there through the winter.
That's right. I'm ready for some cool weather. I'm ready to wear sweatshirts and stuff like that. Well, hello, and welcome to your old news update. They got the camera rolling.
They do? Oh, I didn't even know that.
That's right. I'm Izzy Fitz.
We're just going to talk all day.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Bud Driscoll.
That's right. Let's shout out to our sponsors, our good old buddies. Eagle Crest Retirement Community, 1501 East Magnolia.
Woo, woo.
Headley's Clothing, 1829 South 9th.
Wow.
Smoky Hill Museum, 211
West.
Iron. All right, I'll start her out October 15th, 1990.
Looks like some presidential information.
Dateline Abilene. The legacy of Dwight David Eisenhower can be seen in the fall of the Berlin Wall, in a united Germany, in the historic changes taking place in the Soviet Union. General Colin Powell said Sunday, speaking at the conclusion of the centennial celebration of Eisenhower's birth.
Isn't that sweet?
Ain't that sweet?
Wouldn't be the same country without Dwight.
Old Ike. Still like Ike.
Yep. And, well, now we're going to have to go back 50 years.
50 years?
Ike was still alive during that time. October 14th, 1965. But for some students, it was a quick cram session for a Western political heritage test. But for policemen and firemen, it was a moment of decision, search, and worry. When 2 bomb threats were received at Salina High School Thursday morning, Salina Police Chief H.R. Salmon said, "We have no choice. We'll have to evacuate."
So they had bomb threats in 65.
Well, 65, that was the middle of all of...
Oh, yeah, that was...
Not quite Vietnam, but there was a lot of, unrest in the nation.
A lot of unrest. The hippies were getting going and stuff like that. October 15, 1940. With a small army of volunteer workers already sworn in, an estimated 4,400 young men of military age will march to the nearest voting place in the county Wednesday to register for the first peacetime draft in the history of the United States. Peacetime. ME4. Boy, it wasn't long before we weren't at peace anymore.
No, 1940.
ME4. The county clerk swore in the last chief registrar this afternoon and said approximately 200 men and women of this country are marshaled as volunteers to give a day of their time to Uncle Sam free of charge.
Well, they wouldn't stay peacetime for long. I know it was only a year away from...
December 7th, 1941, a day which will live in infamy.
Well, I know how that is. October 11th, 1915, 100 years ago.
100 years.
This date lines out to Topeka, which is, our neighbor, capital of our state.
Yeah, that way.
Cigarette smoking may be the next item that will mean a section cut from the moving picture films shown in Kansas. When W.D. Ross, State Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Well, that's a mouthful.
Wouldn't you like that job? State Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Can you say it in one breath?
State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Began censoring moving pictures, all drunkenness, drinking, gambling, and bloodshed. They all been removed from motion pictures. Now the Club Women and Women's Christian Temperance Union have started a campaign to bar cigarette smoking too.
You don't want to make them women's Christian temperance folks.
Well, they're taking away all the good reasons to go see a movie.
That's right.
Drunk smoking wontons. That's why you go to movies.
And finally, October 13, 1915.
Sad news.
Sad news. Dateline Ellsworth. W.S. Cook, a blacksmith, aged 42 years, committed suicide here late Saturday afternoon, blowing his brains out with a shotgun. Ooh. The muzzle of the gun was inserted in his mouth and both barrels exploded. Ooh. The charge blowing off the entire top of his head. He had removed his shoes and socks and fired the guns with his toes, his tootsies.
If you had that kind of talent with your toes, you'd
Yeah.
think you could find some other way to
That's right.
do something.
Why did he do a silly old thing like that?
I don't know.
Well, read more about the way things used to be, good or bad, in the look back section of Monday's Salina
That's
Journal.
right. We need both good and bad news. So.
That's right.
But until then, we'll see you yesterday.